Hello, this is Rod welcoming you to the 2031st edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline the 17th of December 2015. The readers this week are Rod, Joan, Bev and Caroline, with Colin on the controls. The items that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Fernand Boulon, Harry Brewer, and performed by Jean-Jacques Perry, and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include Out in the Cold, Cycle Safety Reminder, and Love Your Market. Now, we have a special announcement from our chairman, Phillip Dawson.
Thank you, Rod. And first, I've got a piece of sad news to tell you. Many of you will have known Jean Sawrey, who was one of our listeners' representatives. Jean was a great supporter of ETN and a hard-working member of our committee, as well as supporting many other local charities. Jean passed away recently and is missed by us all. Our thoughts are with her son and her family. And now, a big thank you, because this is the last time you're going to be hearing the voices of Rod, Joan and Beverley. You might have noticed that Lillian, who normally presents this edition, has been absent for several weeks. She's going to be moving away from the borough and has decided to step down. And Rod, Joan and Beverley have also decided to step down to make way for new readers and new voices who you'll hear in the new year. One of those, Caroline, is here tonight. On behalf of everyone at ETN, I'd like to say a big thank you to Rod, to Joan, to Beverley and to Pat, who's known on the tape as Lillian, for all their years of service to ETN. Between them, we've worked out that there's about 70 years of volunteering amongst them. They're going to be going out in style today with their famous Christmas tape, and we look forward to listening to that on side 2. But now, back to Rod.
Thank you, Colin. It's very nice. And now, back over to local news and first article with Joan.
And I start with a rather sad piece of news written by a lady called Julia Craigree, who works for the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser. I get straight into it. An elderly woman could be facing a death sentence if she is forced to move from a care home which is closing after Legionella was discovered in the water supply, so her daughter-in-law has claimed. Sandra Lewis says she is very worried about the prospect of moving mother-in-law Sylvia Lewis, who suffers from dementia, when Reardon Court in Winchmore Hill shuts its doors. Enfield Council, which runs the home, has informed the 24 residents, 17 tenants and 67 people who use the day centre about the closure, which comes in the wake of the discovery of the potentially deadly bacteria in March. That one that is called Legionella. Mrs. Lewis said, "It's a death sentence really if she's got to go because she's 93. She says this is her home." She praised the home and said her mother-in-law was happy there. Legionella bacteria are found in sources of water and can multiply rapidly if they get into artificial water supply systems such as air conditioning, according to the NHS. The most serious repercussion from the bacteria is the potentially fatal Legionnaire's disease. Well, we've always heard, all of us, I think, we've heard about that one, because it caused quite some trouble about 8 years ago. However, here we are, when no one has been ill at Reardon Court, and the council has put in extensive measures to safeguard its users. A council spokesman said there was no imminent danger to residents, tenants, and day centre users. However, he added, given the need for extensive work that would effectively require us to remove the entire water supply system, the time and disruption required to do this, and the cost of refitting the building, we have no option but to decommission Reardon Court. Another relative, Michelle Griffiths, whose mother, Margaret Kerr, has lived in the home for 6 years, said, "These are people's homes. They are homes for life." She said residents wanted to know if the problem could be fixed so that they could stay in their homes. In a letter to residents and their families, Ray James, the council's Director of Health, Housing and Social Care, said the council and its independent contractors have put a range of ongoing control measures in place to ensure that everybody is kept safe, while extensive remedial works and treatment of the water system is undertaken over recent months. He said the council had taken professional advice, which has been checked and endorsed by an independent expert, that we cannot guarantee the longer-term safety of the water system without completely replacing all water systems. And suppose they can afford all that. The council said it will consult residents and their relatives about suitable accommodation.
A 3-year-old boy's legs was broken in 3 places after a cyclist riding on the pavement in Enfield town knocked him over. Cara Lewis said her son Noah Fruin now faces Christmas in a plaster cast after the incident outside Argos in Cecil Road on Monday last week. Noah was reportedly just steps ahead of his mother and grandmother as they left the shop at about 3 p.m. with Noah's baby brother Thomas. Within seconds, a man cycling on the pavement in the direction of the town park knocked him to the ground. He was going at high speed and knocked Noah completely off his feet, said Miss Lewis. There was swelling around his right ankle. I didn't realize at first the severity of his injuries. The family of James Street, Enfield, took Noah to Barnet Hospital and were told the ankle had been broken in 3 places. The doctor told us he could see from the breakages that the cyclist must have been going very quickly, said Miss Lewis. The man stopped and apologized, but he shouldn't have been cycling on the pavement. God forbid what could have happened if it had been an elderly person knocked over. The family informed the police the following day, and the incident is being investigated. It comes as debate continues on the controversial Cycle Enfield scheme, which would see partially segregated bike lanes installed along green lanes from Palmer's Green to Enfield Town. Road markings already indicate a bike lane in Cecil Road, but the cyclist reportedly ignored them, taking to the pavement instead, a manoeuvre deemed illegal by UK law. I'm not against them putting cycle lanes in, but I think people need to be educated about how to use them, said Miss Lewis. Noah has to be in the cast for at least 6 weeks, so he's bored stiff. He's a very active little boy who doesn't like to sit around, but he can't bear any weight on his right leg. I'm proud of how brave he's been. He cried when it happened, but he didn't cry at hospital. He has coped very well. A Met Police spokesman confirmed that officers had been called to reports of a cyclist in collision with a pedestrian and that a 3-year-old boy had suffered leg injuries. The cyclist stopped at the scene and is helping police with their inquiries, he said. No arrests have been made.
Enfield Market is tapping into a payment revolution that traders hope will urge residents to buy locally. The market, one of the UK's oldest at more than 700 years old, is thought to be the first venue of its type in the country to encourage its 40 traders to adopt new mobile payment and loyalty app droplets. It allows customers to pay in one touch of their phone, removing the need for cash. The app also allows traders to create their own rewards programme. Some 25 traders have signed up already, and 15 more are expected to come on board by early next year. Jim Eustace from the Old Enfield Charitable Trust said, "Once we realised how easy the app was to implement and the fact it really pushed buy local and independent, we decided to give it our full backing and have been encouraging merchants to take it en masse. The response has been fantastic. The market was relaunched in October to include an 80-seater food court and refurbished bandstand, complete with an open invitation for buskers to come and entertain shoppers. Gaspar De Luca owns Tentazione UK, an Italian deli on one of the largest pitches on the market. He said, "We find it fast and easy to use, and our customers are really getting into the habit of paying by phone. I have no doubt that it has already increased our sales, and I'm hoping the rewards platform will ensure people come back to us time and time again." Those at Chinese food stall Yum Yum also said they have noticed a boost in trade. Seasonal traders will be at the market until Christmas Eve. It is open from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m, apart from Sunday, when opening hours are 11 to 5:30.
Thousands of men from the borough who died in World War I have been commemorated in the pages of a new book recording their lives. The names and addresses of 2,739 servicemen killed in the conflict are painstakingly recorded in the leather-bound book produced by archivists and volunteers at Enfield Local Studies Library at the Dugdale Centre in London Road, Enfield Town. There are copies of the books for members of the public to view at Enfield Town Library in Church Street, Ordnance Unity Centre in Ordnance Road, Enfield Lock, Palmer's Green Library in Broomfield Lane, and the library in South Mall, Edmonton Green, as well as in the Dugdale. The funding for the project came from the Heritage Lottery Fund, and it forms part of the Enfield at War exhibition, currently on show in the Local Studies section of the Dugdale Centre. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Children and Education, Afar Orhan, recommended residents to look through the books to see if relatives are included. She said, "It is important that we build a permanent archive to commemorate the young men and women who served so bravely in World War I. Ms. Orhan added, "The book contains 2,739 names and addresses listed in alphabetical order, but we believe there are still some names missing, so we are asking the public to come forward and let us know any missing names and the stories behind them." Since this book commemorates a war that took place more than 100 years ago, it has been difficult to track down the details and ages of those listed and where they fought so bravely. However, our staff are always interested to hear about family stories and archives that can add to our knowledge and be part of the growing collection of Enfield's past. Anyone with further information should contact Local Studies Officer John Clark at john.clark@enfield.gov.uk or by calling 0208 379 2745.
A new campaign is urging people to make sure they are registered with a GP so that they are not left without a doctor when illness strikes. That's important, you know. In September, the Advertiser reported on Healthwatch Enfield snapshot survey of 145 residents in Edmonton, which revealed that 17% of those asked were not registered with a GP. Now, Enfield Council has launched a campaign to make sure no one is left without a family doctor if taken ill. The campaign includes leaflets with details about surgeries and contact details to help select a GP practice close to home. Ninika Kezor, Cabinet Member for Public Health, said, "GPs are essential in providing health services for all the family and are an important getaway to other healthcare services like vaccinations for children, advice and support on family planning, diet, sexual health and quitting smoking, and there are also free health checks for blood pressure, cholesterol and diabetes." Make sure you've got a GP. Now you've heard that list. However, we'll carry on. She said people not registered with a GP often head to hospital, accident and emergency departments, where they may face long waits. Health Watch Enfield's chief executive, Lorna Rees, said that one of the issues people face was with families living in temporary accommodation who might find it difficult to provide proof of address. They don't have their names on household bills, she explained. However, she added that even if people did not have all the documents, they still had the right to register with a GP, with temporary registrations possible for visitors for up to 3 months. Further details about surgeries are available from www.nhs.uk or by calling Health Watch on 0208 373 6283.
Safety-conscious parents can get their children's car seats checked for free in the new year. The checks have been organised by Enfield Council, and sessions start in February and continue until October. By law, youngsters under 135 centimetres, that's 4 foot 5 inches tall, have to use a proper child seat when travelling by car. However, research by the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents suggests that 4 out of every 5 seats for children are fitted incorrectly. The council-run checks are aimed to give parents the chance to check they have fitted the right seat for their child and that it is installed safely. There will also be a range of car seats to test before they buy the right one for their child. While parents are talking safety with the experts, every child who has a car seat fitted can enjoy free face painting. Daniel Anderson, the Council's Cabinet Member for the Environment, said, "This is a great free initiative which will help improve the safety of children travelling in cars by helping to ensure that parents are aware of how to correctly install their child's car seats." He said the Council was committed to reducing the number of deaths and serious injuries on the roads and hoped this initiative would help keep children safe. All the free events run between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. as follows. The team will be at Halford's in Great Cambridge Road, Enfield, on Wednesday, February 17th. Tesco in High Street, Ponders End, on Tuesday, April 29th. Mothercare at the Ravenside Retail Park in Angel Road, Edmonton, on Wednesday, June 2nd. Oh, I'm sorry, it's June 1st. Sorry about that. And Southbury Leisure Centre in Southbury Road, Enfield, on Wednesday, August 10th. The final session is on Tuesday, October 25th at Asda in Chaseside, Southgate.
A surprise snow machine delighted crowds during a charity lights switch-on event in Enfield last week. Those at the Nightingale Cancer Support Centre's event on Wednesday had no idea that artificial flakes would begin to descend as they sang Silent Night and Away in a Manger. They had gathered for the annual Light Up a Life event, which celebrates the lives of those lost to cancer, as well as cancer survivors. Nightingale is all about supporting people by lighting up their lives, and the support we receive from the community enables us to do this, said Nightingale's fundraising manager, Lisa Barker. People lit candles dedicated to their loved ones and sung carols in front of a Christmas tree, accompanied by the Children's International Voices of Enfield Choir, before mulled wine and mince pies were handed around. The snowy surprise came courtesy of global software provider Meterswitch, whose Church Street base was used for the event. The lights were officially switched on by Doreen Willis, who retired from her job with Meterswitch this year and who has been a long-time fundraising supporter of Nightingale. Even I didn't know about the snow, added Lisa. It was a great surprise and a lovely evening.
And now some important announcements around changes to recycling and refuse services over Christmas and New Year, as well as council opening hours and Christmas tree recycling. Your revised refuse and recycling collection dates are as follows. If your collection is normally on Thursday the 24th of December 2015, then you will receive a normal collection. If it is normally on a Friday, the 25th of December, then your collection will be on Monday the 28th of December. If your collection is normally on Monday the 28th of December, then your collection will be on Tuesday the 29th of December. If your collection is normally on Tuesday the 29th of December, then your collection will be on Wednesday the 30th of December. If your collection is normally on Wednesday the 30th of December, your new collection will be on Thursday the 31st of December. And if your collection is on Thursday the 31st of December, then your collection date for Christmas period will be Saturday the 2nd of January. Into the new year, if your collection is normally on Friday the 1st of January, it will then be Monday the 4th of January. If your collection is normally on Monday the 4th of January, it will be the day after, Tuesday the 5th of January. If it's normally Tuesday the 5th of January, then it will be Wednesday the 6th of January. If it's normally Wednesday the 6th of January, it will be Thursday the 7th of January. And you might guess that if it's on Thursday the 7th of January, it will then be on Friday the 8th of January. And last but not least, if you're expecting a collection on Friday the 8th of January, then your collection for the new year will be on Saturday the 9th of January. So I hope you were writing all that down. In terms of Barrowell Green Recycling Centre, which is a place where a lot of people go over Christmas to get rid of wrapping or presents that they don't want, the recycling centre will be open as usual, except for Friday the 25th of December, when it will be closed. It will also be closed on Boxing Day, Saturday the 26th of December. It will also be closed on Monday the 28th of December, and on New Year's Day, Friday the 1st of January. The council offices, for those of you that like to visit them, will be closed on Thursday the 24th of December and will reopen on Tuesday the 29th of December and again closed on Friday the 1st of January. For libraries and registrars, you can visit the website on www.enfield.gov.uk and you can call 0208 379 1000, but it will be for emergencies only during these times. And lastly, Christmas tree recycling, again something that most of us need to do. If you receive a gardening recycling collection, please put your tree out for collection with your garden waste on your usual or amended collection day. Please remove all decorations, pots and turf from your tree, as these cannot be recycled. If your tree is taller than 6 foot, mine is, please take it to one of the parks listed below or cut into smaller pieces as it cannot be collected otherwise. Until Sunday the 10th of January 2016, trees can also be taken to Pims Park, Bush Hill Park, Bury Lodge Gardens, Town Park, Jubilee Park, Albany Park, Arness Park, Durrance Park, Broomfield Park, Tottenhall Sports Ground, Oakwood Park, Grovelands Park and Trent Park. Trees to be left inside Park Gate for collection by park staff. Trees can also be taken to Barrowell Green Recycling Centre after this date. How exciting. There you go.
Because they'll hear the men coming and you'll have time to do it. Well, now here we go to a letter that's come in from David Lee, who lives in Village Road, Enfield. My views regarding the Cycle Enfield consultation are as follows, and they're all numbered here. Number 1, the scheme will have such a major effect on the local community that it should not go ahead without majority support. Let's see what number 2 says. The referendum is our MP's way, that's in Grange Ward, of making sure his constituents' voices are heard. Now number 3. Up to now, David Burrows has showed complete impartiality, voicing no opinion with regard to the scheme, but he is concerned that it is being pushed through without local voices being properly heard. Number 4, I have absolute faith that Mr. Burrows' referendum is being conducted in a scrupulous manner. With regard to the Council's so-called consultation, for A, anyone could make simple submissions. Group B, The complicated process made it very difficult for people without access or not computer literate to complete. Obtaining a paper copy was a job and a half. C. The council form was complicated and confusing for many people to complete. D. Submissions could made from anywhere. The computer literate only needed Google Maps and Royal Mail postcode finder to find the necessary postcode. E. The council's consultation was the real sham, conducted by the zealots responsible for implementing that scheme. So there.
Okay, and now a letter from John Hannett, the General Secretary, Union of Shop, Distributive and Allied Workers. And he has this to say: I would like to wish your readers all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For many, this is always an exciting time, but in the last few shopping days it can be frantic, trying to get everything ready for the big day. I want to gently remind your readers to remember that shop workers are people as well. They will be working really hard to make your shopping experience as stress-free and enjoyable as possible. A survey has shown that every minute of the working day, a shop worker is verbally abused, threatened with violence, or physically attacked. Isn't that awful? Shop workers report that incidents are more frequent throughout the Christmas and New Year period, when shops are busier and customers can be stressed and are more likely to take out their frustration on staff. Talking to our members who work in retail, I know that verbal abuse cuts deep. Many will go home after a shift, upset about an unpleasant incident that took place at work that day and worried that it will happen to them again. That is why USDAW, that's USDAW, the Shop Workers Trade Union, is running a Respect for Shop Workers campaign, asking customers to keep your cool at Christmas. It's a simple message, but remembering that shop workers are working extra hard at this time and treating them with respect will mean that everyone can have a happier Christmas.
We have now reached the end of side 1 of this festive tape. Please stop your machine now, take out the cassette, turn it over and start side 2.